Yo, it's Jerry Ash, but back with another reaction. I'm gonna try to do more. But we got another one with Tariq Nasheed, man. He really broke down something. He dropped a bomb on this. I actually just saw the video today. I think it's been on for a day. I'm not sure, but man, he put some fire out there about the difference between the African slaves that came to the America and the indigenous blacks that was already here. Being that the Spanish had came first, it was two words they used to describe the black Africans and the black indigenous of the Americas. And they called them blacks of the land, which in Spanish is Negro de Negro de terra. And for the African blacks, they called them Negros Guinea, blacks from was it Guinea? But I'm gonna let them cook, man. Shit, this shit was fire. I'm gonna let them cook. Goddamn, shit.
Cursing. Look, the fish mouth tether. Yeah, that's not gonna, you being a fish mouth angry tether, that's not gonna change anything. My lineage still goes to the beginning of this country. That's the great thing about us, ladies and gentlemen. We can go somewhere and point to some tombstones that go to the 1700s on this land. No amount of anger, arguing, lying, bickering is going to move them damn tombstones, ladies and gentlemen. You feel me? I ain't got nothing to argue about. Yeah, all that ain't going to move them tombstones.
Hell no.
Yeah, our family is up in here centuries deep, and yours ain't. You see? I don't get nigga. We're all from Africa, nigga. Yeah. Everybody's from Africa, but everybody ain't foundational.
Right.
I hate you, niggas. I hate you. But when we stand on lineage business, boy, they just crash out. That bubbles up their insecurities. All that bubbles up their insecurities major. Yeah, you and I, we're all African, dude. We predate the title of African over here in America. We predate that, like I keep telling y'all. See, this is why history and knowing your history is very important. Nobody over here on this land called themselves an African until the 1770s. We were black way before then.
Way before then.
Both sides. Because family, they were calling the natives black.
And he also broke down why black people is called Africans in the 1780s. I think it was in another video he had made, and he was saying it was more for political reason, because he noticed that how America was being run at the time. It was about something he was saying about people having nations, and certain places were used as a benefit. So a lot of black people played the game until they couldn't, until they figured out what they were doing by calling themselves Africans, but they was FBAs. It was mainly for political reasons, what he said, why he broke it down.
And the imported people black. This is very well documented. Very well documented. Especially the Portuguese. Remember, when they got over here, the Portuguese and the Spanish, they had us in two categories. They had Negros of Guinea, which is the black people that were from Africa. And there was another name I want y'all to look up, Negros de Terra. Look up the name Negros de terra. You'll see this
Negro
if
de
you do
Terra.
some research.
Okay, we're gonna look. We're gonna look that up. We're gonna look that up. Negros de Terra. Let's see. I looked that shit up. Excuse me. Let me see. Negros de Terra. Okay. So I looked it up. Negros de Terra means blacks of the land or slaves of the land. In English, it was a Portuguese colonial term used to describe indigenous people in Brazil, partially during the 16th to 18th centuries, to distinguish them from enslaved Africans who were often referred to as Negroes de Guine, blacks from Guinea. Key details regarding Negro de Terra. Context. The term highlights the forced labor and enslavement of Native Americans by European settlers and banditis and Sao Paulo and other regions. Distinction. It was used to classify indigenous laborers in contrast to enslaved people brought from Africa. Significance. The term is central to understanding the history of Indian slavery in colonial Brazil and the exploitation of native slavery. Yeah. But it was used to classify indigenous laborers in contrast to enslaved people brought to Africa. So it was basically saying that, hold up, it was saying that that the it was saying mostly in Brazil, but like that's South America. So you got South and North America, then you got a little bit of that Central. But if they was black in South America, they was black in goddamn North America. They shit. I think it was more the population of blacks and indigenous blacks in South America, and they traveled to the north. Now the majority of them didn't. I think the majority of the indigenous blacks was in South America, but some did go to North America. That's why um that's why we're like 13% of the population up here. While most of them shit down there 80-90% of the population. But that just shows the different that just showed the difference in they knew we were different from them, from Africans then when they saw us. Like this from the other continent, which is Africa. This one, this one's from here. This was from America. This one is indigenous to America. Why would they call them blacks of the land? Okay. He dropped the bomb on that one.
You're looking colonial documents from the 1500s and shit like that throughout the Americas, especially down in Brazil and places like that. Because remember, the Spanish were here first. The Spanish Europeans came before the English Europeans. Yeah, they would call the natives here negros de terra, meaning blacks of the land. Look up that term. That's in a whole bunch of documents. Negro de terra. Blacks of the land. That's what they would, and they would separate the two, the blacks from Africa, the blacks from here. And they just kind of put everybody together. And then Negro became a catch-all term for Africans and the Native Americans. Mm-hmm. This is very well documented. Go get the book, Jack Forbes, Africans and Native Americans. He breaks this stuff all the way down. How they were using Negro interchangeably for Africans and Native Americans over here. It was just like literally an interchangeable term. It was a catch-all term. Yeah.
Damn, that's facts. Cause hold up, that's facts. I gotta share. Let me share something else. Let me see if I got that. That's facts. Excuse me. It's another book. I'm gonna have to grab this. Let me see if I can share that properly. Yeah, Blacks of the Land, Indian Slavery, Settler Society, and the Portuguese Colonial Enterprise in South America. Mm-hmm. Because shit, um, we got some shit down here. I read about that too. This is mostly talking about how they came to Brazil first, basically, because the majority of the slaves. Shit, hold on. I'm gonna show that too. The majority of the slaves went to South and Central America, the West Indies. A very, very small percent came to North America. Bro, let me see. 5%. 5% of the continental Africans came to North America, to the United States. West Indies, Central America, 60%. Brazil, 35%. You got a little slice, probably 1% from East Africa. Majority came from West Africa, but the majority of them went to Brazil, South America. But when they came to North America, they used the same terms because they was all up and down North, Central, and South America. It was all in the Americas. So they've been calling us black since the goddamn 1500s. And then they chose to use it in the 1700s as a political, strategic move, political wise. And then next time we was called African was in the 1980s. So they just dropped the color, they just dropped the mulatto, they just dropped the copper skin, they dropped color, they dropped all those terms and gave us African American. So you trying to tell me, okay, since they saying the red man or the Siberian mixed with Asian came over through the Bering Strait. So all of them was supposed to be native, but they supposed to be here first. And all of us came from Africa. Every black person that's in America came from Africa. That's bullshit. Only 5% of continental Africans came to North America. So that means it had to be more of us here than the so-called red man, Indian, native red man. We was here before they got here. The majority of the slaves went to the West Indies and Brazil, South America. Hell, they more African than we are. They've been more Africanized than we are. That's where the majority of the slaves went. They've been lying to us, bro. Big time. They've been lying. Big time.
Come on now. Man. Oh, you looked it up on AI? Yeah, look it up. Yo, Google. Yeah, somebody just looked it up on AI. Yeah, look it up. Yeah, y'all, everything I say can be verified. Somebody just verified what I just said. Yeah, Negro de Terra. Yeah, when they came over. That's why you look at them. If you look at early maps, the first maps that they had over here in the 1500s, because I'm a historian. I done been to museum study all that shit. In the early maps, all of the natives would be black. Look at them early maps from the 1500s. All the natives would look black. Damn near all the maps. Yeah. Y'all go look up maps. Just y'all do your own research. Look up maps from the 1500s and look at how they depicted the natives over here. Everybody ain't damn lying. The natives would be black with damn woolly damn hair. So yeah, they hate to admit that we were here. We were already over here, and then we mixed in with the Africans that were brought over. And then they just use the catch-all term Negro, which is black, which is the word black. Yeah. Man. That's what it is. What was that? He's trying to steal my money in progress. I just want to talk. Who's talking? What are you talking about, brother? He's trying to steal technical. What are you talking about, brother? He said somebody's trying to steal some money. Technically right?
But yeah, I thought that was some very, very, very good information he dropped. Hmm. That's right. I mean, that's a dagger though. That's a dagger to Pan Africanism. That's a dagger to the European. That's a dagger to the Africans from the continent that claim we African. First, they say we wasn't African. When we bigged up Africa, we wore our African medallions and all that shit. Y'all not African. They ain't want to own. They ain't want to own it. I'm African. I'm not black. But now all of a sudden they want us to be African, and they're black. Oh shit! This shit is crazy, bro. This shit is crazy. I want to share one more article. Let me see. Okay, this is Ishmael Bay. I don't know who he is, but that sounds like a Moorish name. Negro de Guine, Negro de Guine. What's that? I always read that shit wrong. Ghanea. Negro de Ghanea or Negro de Terra. They are not the same. Is your lineage from Negroes from Africa or Negroes indigenous to Americas? Negro de Guinea, Negro de Guinea, Ghanea, or Negro de Terra, they are not the same. The use of the terms Negro and Black to include persons of Native American ancestry in Anglo North America, Jack D. Forbes. Oh, that's the book the author he just named. Yeah. So this is a little breakdown highlighting what they was using the word for. Mm-hmm. Let's skip down here and read this last paragraph. In the British slave colonies of North America along the Atlantic coast, many persons of American ancestry were at times classified as blacks, Negroes, mulattoes, or people of color. And these terms were, of course, used for people of African ancestry. The manner in which Americas and part Americas are sometimes classified as mulattoes and people of color. From New England to South Carolina and the Spanish Empire explored elsewhere. The purpose here is to illustrate how the term Negro has been also applied to people of American descent. But yeah, he dropped the bomb with that one. That was a straight dagger, man. Wow, that's crazy. Another one for Tariq Nasheed, man. I mean, goddamn. I mean, what do you Pan African got to say? That clearly states, and that's just one or two articles or a book. There's many other books about that word, Negro de terra, distinguishing the black African from the black indigenous to America. We've been here. Yo, this is Jay Reacts. I'll be back with another one. Peace.